My name is Natasha, and I will be your host today. This podcast is called Intermediate English Listening Practice. Build fluency and speak confidently. Learn English with podcast. If you are new here, let me tell you that in this channel, every single day we upload a new episode to help you improve your English listening and speaking. So if you want to grow step by step and sound more natural, you are in the right place. Today, we are going to practice English listening through real-life examples, small stories, and practical situations. The goal is not only to understand the words, but also to imagine the context and improve your fluency. Let us begin with our first short story. Last week, I met a man named Daniel. He told me about his experience starting a new job. On his first day, he arrived at the office very early because he wanted to make a good impression. When he entered, the office was quiet and only one person was there, a senior manager named Mr. Thompson. Daniel greeted him politely and said, "Good morning, I am new here." "My name is Daniel." Mr. Thompson smiled and replied, "Welcome, Daniel. It is always good to see someone who values punctuality." From this short story, you can learn vocabulary like make a good impression, punctuality, and senior manager. Now let us move to another example. Sarah is a teacher who always prepares her lessons carefully. She once shared with me that when she first started teaching, she was nervous about standing in front of so many students. But instead of focusing on her fear, she decided to focus on helping her students. With time, she became more confident. Notice how her mindset changed from nervous to confident. This teaches us that changing perspective can improve performance. Think about your own life. Have you ever faced a situation where you were nervous at first but later became more confident? For example, maybe you had to give a presentation at work, or maybe you had to speak in front of a group in your community. These real-life examples help you connect English vocabulary with feelings and actions. Another important part of building fluency is practicing small dialogues. Imagine this simple role play. Daniel goes to a coffee shop near his office. He says, "Good morning. Can I have a cup of black coffee, please?" The barista answers, "Of course. Would you like sugar or milk with that?" Daniel replies, "No, thank you. Just black coffee." This very simple exchange includes polite phrases such as, "Good morning, can I have?" and "No, thank you." These are phrases you can use every day. Let us try another small role play with a family situation. Emma and her husband, John, are discussing their weekend plans. Emma says, "John, I was thinking we could visit your parents this Saturday. It has been a while since we saw them." John replies, "That sounds like a good idea. I am sure they will be happy to see us." In this short dialogue, you can learn how to make suggestions politely using "I was thinking we could," and how to agree using "That sounds like a good idea." Stories and role plays like these are powerful for English learning because they combine listening, vocabulary, and real-life usage. When you listen carefully, you not only understand the words, but also the natural flow of conversation. Another story I want to share with you is about a man named Richard. Richard had recently moved to a new city for work. At first, he felt lonely because he did not know anyone there. One day, he decided to join a local community group that organized weekend activities. During the first meeting, Richard introduced himself by saying, "Hello everyone, my name is Richard. I just moved here for work, and I am looking forward to meeting new people." The group welcomed him warmly. From this story, we can learn useful expressions such as, "I just moved here," "looking forward to," and "meeting new people." These phrases are very natural when you introduce yourself in English. Now let us look at another real-life situation. Imagine a woman named Clara. She is a nurse, and every day she needs to communicate clearly with her patients. Once, a patient asked her, "Excuse me, how long will I have to wait before the doctor sees me?" Clara replied politely, "It should be about 15 minutes. Please have a seat, and I will call your name." Notice how Clara uses polite language with phrases like, "Excuse me, it should be about," and "Please have a seat." These small details make English sound professional and respectful. Here is a role play with friends planning something together. David and Michael are colleagues who want to arrange a lunch break. David says, "Michael, are you free at 1 o'clock? We could have lunch together?" Michael answers, "Yes, that works for me." Do you want to go to the restaurant near the office? David replies, perfect, I like that place. In this dialogue, you learn phrases like, are you free at? And that works for me, and I like that place. These are phrases you can use in daily conversations at work. Let me share a family example too. Maria and her husband, Alex, are discussing their daily routine. Maria says, Alex, can you help with the dishes tonight? I need to finish some work. Alex replies, of course, no problem. I will take care of it. This dialogue shows helpful family language. You can learn how to ask politely with can you help? And how to respond kindly with, of course, no problem. Another story is about a woman named Olivia who had to give a speech at her company meeting. At first, she was very nervous. She practiced her speech every evening at home. On the day of the meeting, she stood up, smiled, and started with the sentence, good morning, everyone. Thank you for giving me the chance to speak today. Because she practiced, she felt more confident. From her story, you can learn expressions like thank you for giving me the chance to, and how to open a speech politely. When you listen to these stories and dialogues, you are not only learning new words, but also understanding how to use them naturally. Practicing with real names and situations makes it easier to remember. Imagine a classroom situation. A student named Daniel raises his hand and says, Teacher, could you explain this grammar rule again? I want to make sure I understand it correctly. The teacher replies, of course, Daniel. This rule is about using the past perfect tense. We use it when one action happened before another in the past. Daniel nods and says, thank you. That makes more sense now. This example helps you see how to politely ask for clarification with phrases like, could you explain this again? And I want to make sure I understand it correctly. Now let us look at a workplace lunch break conversation. Emma asks her colleague, Sophia, do you want to join me for lunch today? Sophia replies, yes, that would be nice. Where do you want to go? Emma says, there is a small cafe near the office. They have healthy food and it is not expensive. Sophia replies, great choice. Let us go there. This dialogue shows you how to invite someone politely and how to agree with friendly phrases. Here is a neighborhood story. Jacob moved into a new house. On his first day, he saw his neighbor, Mr. Carter, gardening. Jacob walked over and said, good morning, I am your new neighbor. My name is Jacob. Mr. Carter smiled and replied, nice to meet you, Jacob. If you ever need anything, just knock on my door. This story teaches expressions like I am your new neighbor, nice to meet you, and if you ever need anything. Now imagine a business call. A woman named Laura answers the phone and says, hello, this is Laura speaking. How can I help you today? The caller replies, good morning. I would like to confirm the time of tomorrow's meeting. Laura responds, yes. The meeting will begin at 10 a.m. in the main conference room. The caller says, perfect. Thank you for confirming. This short story helps you practice formal business phrases. Here is a shopping role play. Mia enters a bookstore and says, excuse me, could you recommend a book about leadership? The shop assistant replies, certainly. This one is very popular and easy to read. Mia says, thank you. I will take it. This dialogue gives you everyday language like recommend a book and I will take it. Another situation is at the dentist. Oliver says, doctor, my tooth has been hurting for 2 days. The dentist replies, let me take a look. I see there is a small cavity. I will need to fill it. Oliver says, all right, please go ahead. Here, you learn vocabulary like hurting tooth, cavity, and fill it. Now imagine a train journey. Sarah and her husband Daniel are sitting together. Sarah says, Daniel, look at the beautiful scenery outside. The hills are covered with green trees. Daniel replies, yes, it is amazing. Traveling by train is so relaxing. Sarah says, I agree. We should do this more often. This short story helps you with descriptive language. Let us go to an office meeting example. A manager named Mr. Wilson says, team, I would like to thank you for your hard work this month. We achieved all our goals. One employee, Anna, replies, thank you. Mr. Wilson, it feels good to know our work is appreciated. This example shows motivational workplace language. Now picture a hospital visit. A nurse says, "Mrs. Green, the doctor will see you in 10 minutes. Please wait in this room." Mrs. Green replies, "Thank you for letting me know." Simple but polite exchanges like this are very common in real life. Another travel role play. Ethan is at a hotel reception. He says, "Excuse me, could you arrange a taxi for tomorrow morning at 7? The receptionist replies, "Of course, I will book it for you. The driver will wait at the entrance." Ethan says, "Thank you, that is very helpful." This teaches phrases like arrange a taxi and book it for you. Here is a family story. Helen says to her husband, "I think we should start saving money for next year's expenses." Her husband replies, "That is a smart idea. Let us create a budget and stick to it." This dialogue introduces practical, family vocabulary like saving money, create a budget, and stick to it. Let us go to a workplace problem-solving example. James says, "Clara, the printer is not working. Do you know how to fix it?" Clara replies, "I am not sure. Maybe we should call the IT department." James says, "Good idea. I will contact them right away." This teaches phrases like not working, fix it, and call the IT department. Imagine a doctor giving instructions. A doctor says, "Please drink plenty of water and rest for a few days. If your condition does not improve, come back for another check." The patient replies, "Thank you. I will follow your advice." This is a good example of polite medical communication. Now imagine a community library. A librarian says, "Hello, would you like to register for a library card?" Anna replies, "Yes, please. What documents do I need?" The librarian answers, "Just your identification and an address proof." Anna says, "All right, here they are." This teaches useful library language. Another example. At a bank, a customer named Peter says, "I would like to transfer money to another account." The clerk replies, "Sure, please fill out this form with the details." Peter says, "Here it is. Thank you." The clerk answers, "The transfer will be completed today." Useful banking phrases appear here. Now let us picture a travel story. Samuel is at a bus stop. He asks another passenger, "Do you know what time the bus arrives?" The passenger replies, "It should be here in about 10 minutes. Samuel says, "Great, thank you." This is a simple but common conversation. Here is another shopping example. Maria is at a market. She asks, "How much are these apples per kilo?" The seller replies, "They are $2 per kilo." Maria says, "I will take 2 kilos, please." This shows you basic phrases for buying food. Now imagine a workplace presentation. Sophie begins by saying, "Today I will explain our marketing strategy. First, we will focus on social media. Second, we will improve customer service." At the end, she says, "Does anyone have questions?" A colleague replies, "Yes, how will we measure success?" Sophie answers, "We will track customer feedback and sales numbers." This dialogue gives you structured professional vocabulary. Another family example. John says, "Emily, could you help me prepare dinner tonight?" Emily replies, "Yes, of course. What do you want me to do?" John says, "Please cut the vegetables while I cook the rice." This shows teamwork in daily life. Now imagine a hotel checkout. The guest says, "Good morning, I would like to check out of my room." The receptionist replies, "Certainly. Could you please return the key card?" The guest hands it over and says, "Here you go. Thank you for your service." This shows travel phrases for leaving a hotel. Another business phone call. Henry says, "Good afternoon. I am calling to schedule an appointment with Mr. Lewis." The secretary replies, "Mr. Lewis is available on Thursday at 3 p.m. Does that work for you?" Henry answers, "Yes, that is perfect." This shows polite scheduling language. Here is a school parent-teacher meeting. The teacher says, Mr. Brown, your daughter is doing very well in mathematics, but she needs more practice in writing. Mr. Brown replies, Thank you for your feedback. I will encourage her to write more at home. This story shows formal communication. Another dialogue at a supermarket. A customer says, Excuse me, could you tell me where the bread section is? The staff replies, It is in aisle 5 next to the dairy products. The customer says, Thank you very much. This teaches useful shopping directions. Now let us look at a transportation role play. Alice says to a taxi driver, Could you please take me to the central train station? The driver replies, Yes, it will take about 20 minutes. Alice says, That is fine, thank you. This shows polite taxi conversation. Another office story. Robert says, Maria, we need to finish this report by tomorrow. Can you handle the charts while I write the summary? Maria replies, Yes, that sounds good. Let us finish it together. This shows teamwork vocabulary. Now picture a cafe situation. A customer says, Could I have a cup of tea and a sandwich, please? The cashier replies, Sure, would you like it to eat here or take away? The customer says, To eat here, please. This shows everyday cafe language, another family conversation. Anna says, David, we should plan our holiday soon. Where would you like to go? David replies, I would love to visit the mountains. We could enjoy nature and take some walks. Anna answers, That sounds perfect. This shows family planning vocabulary. Now imagine an airport check-in desk. The passenger says, Good morning. I would like to check in for my flight to London. The staff replies, Of course. Could I see your passport and ticket, please? The passenger hands them over and says, Here you are. This shows airport vocabulary. Imagine a workplace situation where two colleagues are planning a project deadline. Clara says, Michael, we have only 1 week left to finish this report. How do you want to divide the tasks? Michael replies, I can work on the financial section, and you can prepare the charts and graphs. Clara answers, That sounds fair. Let us review everything together on Friday. This dialogue teaches you how to share responsibilities politely. Now picture a travel story. Thomas arrives at a train station and goes to the ticket counter. He says, Good afternoon. Could I buy a return ticket to Manchester, please? The clerk replies, Yes, the next train leaves at 2:30. Do you want standard class or first class? Thomas answers, Standard class, please. This teaches useful phrases like return ticket and standard class. Here is a community example. A woman named Rachel is speaking at a town meeting. She says, I think we should build a small playground for children in our neighborhood. It will give families a safe place to spend time. Another resident replies, That is a wonderful suggestion. I support this idea. This story shows polite ways to give opinions and agree. Now imagine a family situation. Sophia says to her husband, I need to go shopping tomorrow morning. Could you watch the children while I am out? Her husband replies, Of course I will take care of them. Do not worry. Sophia says, Thank you. That helps a lot. This shows everyday supportive family language. Another example comes from a workplace interview. The interviewer says, Can you tell me about your previous experience? The candidate, Daniel, replies, Yes, I worked for 3 years as a project manager. I managed a team of 10 people and delivered projects on time. The interviewer says, That is impressive. What skills do you think you can bring to our company? Daniel answers, I am good at communication, problem solving, and leadership. This shows interview vocabulary. Now picture a classroom discussion. The teacher says, Students, today we are going to talk about climate change. What do you think are some of the causes? Anna raises her hand and says, One cause is pollution from factories and cars. Another student, James, adds, I think deforestation is also a big reason. This helps you learn how to share opinions in class. Imagine a health story. Olivia goes to a clinic and says, "Doctor, I often feel tired even after sleeping well." The doctor replies, "I understand. We will do a blood test to check your vitamin levels." Olivia says, "Thank you. I appreciate your help." This shows polite medical communication. Now let us look at a work presentation example. A manager, Mr. Harris, begins his talk. "Today, I will share the company's progress for the last quarter. Our sales increased by 15%, and our customer satisfaction improved." At the end, he says, "Does anyone have questions?" An employee replies, "Yes, how can we continue this growth?" This shows presentation language. Here is a transportation situation. Emily asks the bus driver, "Excuse me, does this bus stop near the central hospital?" The driver replies, "Yes, it does." "You should get off at the third stop." Emily answers, "Thank you very much." Simple phrases like this are very useful for daily travel. Now picture a cafe dialogue. A man named Henry says to the waiter, "Could I see the menu, please?" The waiter replies, "Of course. Here it is." Henry says, "Thank you. I will have a cup of tea and a slice of cake." The waiter replies, "Right away." This shows everyday polite expressions. Another community example. Neighbors are discussing a streetlight that is broken. Laura says, "The light on the corner has not been working for weeks. It is very dark at night." Mr. Evans replies, "Yes, I agree. We should report it to the city council." This teaches vocabulary for community issues. Now imagine a classroom role play. The teacher says, "David, could you give a short presentation on your favorite book?" David replies, "Yes, my favorite book is about history. It explains how people lived in the past." This helps you practice public speaking in English. Here is a workplace story. Sarah says to her colleague, "Can you review my report before I send it to the manager?" Her colleague replies, "Sure, I will check it for grammar and numbers." Sarah says, "Thank you, I appreciate your help." This shows teamwork phrases. Another travel example. Mark goes to a car rental desk and says, "Good morning, I would like to rent a car for 3 days." The agent replies, "Certainly. Do you prefer a small car or a larger one?" Mark answers, "A small car." Now picture a supermarket situation. A customer says, "Do you have fresh bread today?" The shop assistant replies, "Yes, it was baked this morning." The customer says, "Perfect. I will take 1 loaf." This shows simple shopping phrases. Imagine a family conversation. Helen says, "Shall we invite your parents for dinner this Sunday?" Her husband replies, "Yes, that would be nice. I will call them today." Helen answers, "Great, I will prepare a menu." This dialogue shows polite family planning language. Here is another work-related situation. During a team meeting, the leader says, "We have a problem with the project deadline. What solutions can we suggest?" One colleague says, "We could divide the work among more people." Another adds, "We might also extend the working hours this week." This shows problem-solving expressions. Now picture a travel dialogue at customs. The officer says, "May I see your passport and declaration form?" The traveler replies, "Here you go." The officer asks, "Are you carrying any food or restricted items?" The traveler answers, "No, I am not." This shows airport vocabulary. Another example comes from a library. A student says, "Excuse me, could you tell me where the history books are?" The librarian replies, "They are on the 2nd floor near the back." The student answers, "Thank you for your help." This shows simple library language. Now imagine a phone call. A customer says, "Hello, I ordered a package last week, but it has not arrived yet." The agent replies, "I am sorry about that. Could you give me your order number?" The customer provides it, and the agent says, "Thank you. I will check the status right now." This shows polite customer service phrases. Here is another family situation. Maria says, "We need to pay the electricity bill this week." Her husband replies, "Yes, I will go to the office tomorrow morning." Maria answers, "Perfect, thank you." This teaches daily life vocabulary. Now picture a train journey. A passenger says, "Is this seat taken?" The other person replies, "No, please have a seat." The passenger answers, "Thank you." This simple exchange shows travel politeness. Another workplace story. The manager says, "Team, we need to think of new ideas for the marketing campaign." One employee replies, "We could try using online ads." Another says, "We might also organize community events." This shows brainstorming language. Here is a doctor's instruction example. The doctor says, "Please take this medicine 3 times a day after meals." The patient replies, "All right, thank you for explaining." This shows clear medical instructions. Now picture a shop. A customer says, "Could I try this jacket on?" The assistant replies, "Yes, the fitting room is over there." The customer says, "Thank you." This teaches clothing shop language. Another travel example. A tourist says, "Is there a museum nearby?" A local person replies, "Yes, go straight and turn left. It is about 5 minutes away." This shows giving directions. Here is a workplace phone call. The secretary says, "Good afternoon, the office of Mr. Brown. How can I help you?" The caller replies, "I would like to speak with Mr. Brown about tomorrow's meeting." The secretary answers, "One moment. I will connect your call." This shows formal phone language. Now imagine a family kitchen conversation. Daniel says, "Could you pass me the salt, please?" His wife replies, "Here you go." Daniel answers, "Thanks, that makes the food taste better." This is a simple but useful home dialogue. Another classroom example. The teacher says, "Please read the first paragraph aloud." The student replies, "All right, here it is." This shows classroom instruction language. Now picture a hotel guest asking for help. The guest says, "Excuse me, the air conditioning in my room is not working." The receptionist replies, "I will send someone to repair it right away." The guest says, "Thank you." This shows hotel service language. One interesting story is about James, who works as an engineer. His company sent him to a foreign country for a 3-month project. On his first day, he went to the office cafeteria. He wanted to order lunch, but noticed that the menu was written in another language. James politely asked a colleague, "Excuse me, could you please help me understand what is on the menu?" The colleague smiled and explained the dishes in English. From this moment, James learned that asking politely for help makes communication much easier. Useful expressions here are, "Excuse me, could you please help me and understand what is on the menu?" Another character is Anna, who is a mother of 2 children. Every morning she wakes up early, prepares breakfast, and helps her children get ready for school. One day her daughter asked, "Mom, can you explain my homework to me before school?" Anna replied, "Sure, let us sit for 5 minutes and go through it together." In this situation, you learn how to make requests and how to respond kindly. Phrases such as, "Can you explain?" or "Let us sit for 5 minutes and go through it together" are practical and polite. Now let us imagine a workplace dialogue between Peter and his manager, Mrs. Wilson. Peter says, "Mrs. Wilson, I finished the report you asked for. Would you like me to send it by email or print a copy for you?" Mrs. Wilson answers, "Thank you, Peter. Please send it by email, and later we can print a copy if needed." This shows how to report completed tasks and how to offer options politely. Vocabulary includes finish the report, send it by email, and if needed, we can also talk about travel situations. Imagine a man named Samuel traveling to another city by train. At the station, he asks an employee, "Excuse me, which platform is for the train to Manchester?" The employee replies, "Platform 3. The train leaves in 15 minutes. This short exchange teaches you how to ask for directions politely and how to understand short, direct answers. Phrases such as "which platform" and "the train leaves in" are very useful. Now let us look at a family situation again. Laura and her husband David are discussing their household chores. Laura says, "David, can you please take out the trash before dinner?" David answers, yes, I will do it right away. Here you learn expressions like take out the trash and do it right away. These are everyday phrases that you will hear often. Another story comes from a young man named Henry. Henry had to give a presentation at his university. He prepared carefully by writing notes and practicing in front of a mirror. When the day came, he greeted his audience by saying, "Good afternoon, everyone. Today I will present my research on climate change." His audience listened attentively, and Henry felt more confident because he had practiced. From this, you learn how to start a presentation with a formal greeting and a clear introduction. Let us move to a role play in a shopping context. Emily goes to a clothing store and speaks to the shop assistant. Emily says, "Hello, do you have this shirt in a larger size?" The assistant replies, "Yes, let me check for you." "Please wait a moment." After a minute, the assistant returns and says, "Here you go. This is a larger size." Emily responds, "Thank you." That is perfect. This example gives you useful shopping phrases such as, "Do you have this in a larger size?" And "Please wait a moment." Now let us talk about communication at the doctor's office. Robert has an appointment with his doctor. He says, "Doctor, I have had a headache for 3 days. What should I do?" The doctor replies, "You should rest, drink plenty of water, and take the medicine I will prescribe." This shows how to explain symptoms clearly and how doctors often respond with instructions. Vocabulary includes, "I have had a headache for 3 days, and what should I do?" Another situation is at the airport. Claire is checking in for her flight. She says to the airline staff, "Good morning. I would like to check in for my flight to Paris." The staff replies, "May I see your passport, please?" Claire hands over her passport and says, "Here you are." The staff then says, "Thank you. Your boarding gate is number 12. This dialogue teaches travel language like "I would like to check in," and let us continue with a community example. In a small town meeting, Mr. Brown stands up and says, "Good evening, everyone. I want to suggest that we plant more trees in the park. It will make the area more beautiful and healthier for families." The people at the meeting agree and respond, "That is an excellent idea." This teaches you how to make suggestions in a community setting and how to support someone's suggestion politely. We can also talk about a hotel situation. Sophia arrives at a hotel reception. She says, "Hello, I have a reservation under the name Sophia Johnson." The receptionist replies, "Welcome, Ms. Johnson. May I have your ID, please?" Sophia hands over her ID and the receptionist says, "Thank you. Here is your room key." In this example, you learn how to check in at a hotel using polite, formal English. Let us explore another workplace story. Thomas had to work on a group project with 3 colleagues. During their meeting, he said, "Let us divide the tasks so that everyone has a fair share of the work." One colleague replied, "That sounds reasonable. I can handle the research part." Another said, "I will take care of the presentation slides." By dividing tasks, the team worked efficiently. Vocabulary here includes divide the tasks, fair share, and take care of. Now let us imagine a market situation. Maria goes to a fruit stall. She asks, "How much are these apples per kilogram?" The seller replies, "They are 2 pounds per kilogram." Maria says, "I will take 2 kilograms, please." The seller responds, "Here you go, thank you." From this, you learn everyday phrases used when buying food, such as, "How much are these per kilogram?" and "I will take 2 kilograms. Another story is about Andrew, who attended a wedding ceremony. During the reception, he introduced himself to another guest by saying, "Hello, my name is Andrew. I work with the groom at the company." The guest replied, "Nice to meet you, Andrew. How long have you known him?" Andrew answered, "For almost 5 years." This shows how to make small talk at social events. Let us create a bus travel example. Daniel's traveling to another town by bus. He asks the driver, "Does this bus go to Brighton?" The driver replies, "Yes, it does. Please take a seat and we will leave in 10 minutes. Daniel thanks him and sits down. This teaches how to confirm travel information politely. We can also look at an office situation. Jessica asks her colleague Mark, "Could you please review this report before I send it to the manager?" Mark answers, "Sure, I will check it and let you know if anything needs to be changed." Here, useful expressions are review this report and let you know. Another story is about a woman named Catherine. She was invited to give a speech at a charity event. She began her speech by saying, "Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here today. Your support makes a big difference in our community." The audience clapped and listened carefully. This teaches how to begin a formal speech with respect and gratitude. Let us go into a restaurant situation. Michael and his wife Anna are having dinner. The waiter asks, "Are you ready to order?" Michael replies, "Yes. I would like the grilled chicken, please." Anna says, "I will have the vegetable soup." The waiter writes down the order and says, "Thank you. It will be ready shortly." Here you learn how to order food politely. Imagine a situation in the library. A man named Oliver needs help finding a book. He approaches the librarian and says, "Excuse me, could you tell me where I can find books on history?" The librarian replies, "They are on the second floor in section B." Oliver answers, "Thank you very much. That is helpful." This short scene gives you polite and practical language for asking questions in a formal place like a library. Now think about a family discussion at the dinner table. Rachel and her husband Samuel are talking about their week. Rachel says, "Samuel, we should plan our weekend carefully. Do you want to visit the park with the children on Saturday?" Samuel replies, "Yes, that sounds enjoyable. We can take some snacks and spend the afternoon there." Here you notice expressions like plan carefully, do you want to, and spend the afternoon there. These phrases are good for daily family conversations. Let us move to a work-related meeting. Patricia is speaking to her team. She says, "We need to finish this project by Friday. Let us decide who will handle each part." One colleague, James, responds, "I will write the first draft." Another, Helen, adds, "I can prepare the charts and data." Patricia concludes, "Excellent. Once everyone finishes their tasks, we will review together." This example shows team communication and vocabulary such as first draft, prepare the charts, and review together. Another useful role play happens in a bakery. Ethan walks in and says, "Good morning. Could I have a loaf of whole wheat bread, please?" The baker replies, "Of course. Would you like anything else?" Ethan answers, "Yes, I would also like 6 muffins." The baker packs them and says, "Here you are." Ethan responds, "Thank you. How much is it?" The baker replies, £5 in total. In this exchange, you practice asking for food items and using polite forms like, "Could I have and would you like anything else?" Now let us look at a train journey. Sophie sits next to a passenger and starts a short conversation. She says, "Hello, is this seat taken?" The passenger replies, "No, it is free. Please have a seat." Sophie sits down and asks, "Do you know how long the trip to London will take?" The passenger answers, "Around 2 hours." Here you learn questions for travel like, "Is this seat taken?" and "How long will the trip take?" Another everyday story is about Paul, who had to visit the bank. He said to the clerk, "I would like to open a new account, please." The clerk replied, "Certainly. May I see your ID?" Paul gave his ID, and the clerk explained, "We will need a few signatures, and then your account will be ready." Paul said, "That is fine. Thank you for your help." This example teaches useful financial vocabulary like open a new account and signatures. Now think about communication between neighbors. Clara meets her neighbor, Mr. Harris, in the hallway. She says, "Good evening, Mr. Harris. I wanted to ask if you could water my plants while I'm away for 2 days." Mr. Harris replies, "Of course, I would be happy to do that." Clara answers, "Thank you so much. I really appreciate it." This teaches helpful neighborhood expressions like "while I am away" and "I really appreciate it." Here is a travel-related dialogue at a hotel restaurant. Lucas says to the waiter, "Could you recommend a traditional dish from this region?" The waiter replies, "Yes, I suggest the grilled fish with fresh vegetables. It is very popular here." Lucas answers, "That sounds delicious. I will order that." Expressions such as recommend a traditional dish and "that sounds delicious" are practical when exploring new food. Let us move to another office example. A secretary named Diana calls a client and says, "Good afternoon. I'm calling to confirm your appointment for tomorrow at 10 o'clock. The client replies, "Yes, that time works for me." Diana adds, "Great, we will see you then." This shows how professionals confirm arrangements politely. Now think about a parent and child scenario. Henry's son asks, "Dad, can you help me fix my bike?" "The chain is stuck." Henry replies, "Sure. Bring it to the garage and we will fix it together." The son says, "Thank you, Dad." This short story highlights vocabulary such as "the chain is stuck" and "fix it together." Another useful situation is at a pharmacy. Caroline says, "Excuse me, I need something for a sore throat." The pharmacist replies, "You can take these lozenges. They should help." Caroline answers, "Thank you. How often should I take them?" The pharmacist responds, "One every 3 hours." From this example, you learn phrases like sore throat, lozenges, and how often should I take them. We can also look at an academic setting. Robert is a student speaking to his professor. He says, "Professor, could you please clarify the last point from the lecture? I did not fully understand it." The professor replies, "Of course. Let me explain it again with an example." This shows vocabulary like clarify and "I did not fully understand." Now imagine a supermarket visit. Natalie says to the cashier, "Do you accept credit cards?" The cashier replies, "Yes, we accept both credit and debit cards." Natalie pays and says, "Thank you, have a good day." The cashier responds, "You too." This everyday scene gives useful vocabulary like accept credit cards and have a good day. Another interesting role play takes place during a phone call. Martin calls his colleague and says, "Hi, I wanted to remind you about tomorrow's meeting at 9 o'clock. The colleague replies, "Thank you for the reminder. I will be there on time." Martin answers, "Great, see you tomorrow." Here, the important vocabulary is remind you and on time. We can also talk about a service situation. Isabel brings her car to a repair shop. She says, "Good afternoon. My car makes a strange noise when I drive. Could you check it, please?" The mechanic replies, "Yes, leave it here and I will examine it." Isabel says, "Thank you, I will come back later." Vocabulary includes strange noise and examine it. Now think of a park scenario. Daniel meets his friend Michael there. Daniel says, "Michael, it is such a nice day. Shall we walk around the lake?" Michael replies, "Yes, that sounds relaxing. Let us go." This teaches how to make simple suggestions using "shall we." Imagine a meeting in an office. Christopher speaks to his boss and says, "I have completed the project ahead of schedule. Would you like me to start on the next assignment now?" His boss replies, "Yes, that would be very helpful. Thank you for your efficiency." Expressions like ahead of schedule and next assignment are useful when talking about work progress. Now let us look at a family example. Emma and her husband Daniel are deciding what to cook for dinner. Emma says, "What do you feel like eating tonight?" "We could make pasta or maybe rice with vegetables." Daniel replies, "I prefer rice tonight. I think it will be lighter." From this, you learn how to offer choices politely with "we could make," and how to express preferences with "I prefer." Another practical role play is at a train ticket counter. A traveler named George says, "I would like a return ticket to Oxford, please." The clerk replies, "Certainly. Do you want to travel in the morning or afternoon?" George answers, "Morning, please." The clerk responds, "That will be £20. This gives you useful travel expressions like return ticket and "Do you want to travel in the morning or afternoon?" Now imagine a classroom scene. The teacher asks, "Can anyone give me an example of a conditional sentence?" A student named Laura replies, "If it rains tomorrow, we will stay at home." The teacher smiles and says, "Excellent example." Here you see how conditional sentences appear in everyday study situations. Let us create a story about David, who works in customer service. One day, a customer said, "My order has not arrived yet. Could you check it for me?" David replied, "Of course, may I have your order number?" The customer gave the number and David responded, "Thank you. I will check the system and update you. This teaches service vocabulary like order number and update you. Another scene happens in a restaurant. Lisa is asking the waiter, "Could you please bring us some extra napkins?" The waiter replies, "Of course, I will bring them right away." Lisa says, "Thank you very much." Phrases like extra napkins and bring them right away are very helpful for polite restaurant language. Now picture a community meeting. Mr. Adams stands up and says, "We should think about building a playground for the children. It will give them a safe place to play." Another resident replies, "That is a very good suggestion. I support the idea." This shows community-related vocabulary like safe place to play and support the idea. Let us look at a hospital dialogue. A patient named William says to the doctor, "I have been feeling very tired lately. What test should I take?" The doctor replies, "We will do a blood test and check your results." Expressions like feeling very tired and blood test are common in medical conversations. Another everyday story involves Clara shopping for clothes. She says to the shop assistant, "Could you tell me if this shirt is on sale?" The assistant replies, "Yes, it is 20% off today." Clara responds, "Great, I will buy it." Useful expressions include on sale and 20% off. Now imagine two friends, Michael and Henry, planning an outdoor trip. Michael says, "Henry, should we bring jackets? The weather might get cold in the evening." Henry replies, "Yes, that is a good idea. Better to be prepared." This shows everyday expressions like the weather might get cold and better to be prepared. Another useful example is at a conference. A speaker named Susan introduces herself by saying, "Good morning, my name is Susan Carter. I will be speaking about effective communication in business." Later, someone in the audience asks, "Could you explain how body language affects communication?" Susan replies, "Yes, body language often sends stronger signals than words." This introduces academic and professional vocabulary. Now picture a bus station conversation. A traveler says, "Does this bus stop near the city center?" The driver replies, "Yes, it stops right at the main square." The traveler answers, "Perfect. That is exactly where I need to go." Expressions like city center and main square are very common in travel. Another family story involves Mark and his wife, Julia. Julia says, "Mark, could you please pick up some bread on your way home?" Mark replies, "Of course, I will stop by the bakery." Here you learn practical daily language like pick up some bread and stop by the bakery. Let us go into a professional phone call. Claire says, "Hello, this is Claire Smith from Green Tech. May I speak to Mr. Johnson?" The receptionist replies, "One moment, please, I will connect you." Claire says, "Thank you very much." This is a standard business phone call example. Another everyday example is at a park. Sophia meets her neighbor and says, "It is such a beautiful day. Do you often come here to walk?" The neighbor replies, "Yes, I walk here almost every morning. It helps me stay active." Expressions include "Do you often come here?" and "Stay active." Now imagine an interview situation. The interviewer asks, "Why do you think you are suitable for this position?" The candidate, Peter, replies, "I believe my experience and skills make me a strong fit for the role." The interviewer responds, "That is a clear answer." This teaches interview language like suitable for this position and strong fit for the role. Another short role play happens at a library desk. Alice says, "I would like to renew this book for another 2 weeks." The librarian replies, "No problem, I will extend the due date." Alice says, "Thank you for your help." Vocabulary includes renew this book and due date. Now let us look at a travel story. Martin is at the airport and asks, "Where is the boarding gate for flight 307? The staff replies, "It is at gate number 10. Boarding will begin in 20 minutes. Expressions here include boarding gate and boarding will begin. Another situation takes place at home. Sarah says to her husband, "Could you please fix the light in the kitchen? It stopped working yesterday." Her husband replies, "Yes, I will fix it this evening." This is everyday household language with stopped working and fix it this evening. Let us create a doctor-patient story. Emily says, "Doctor, my son has a fever. What medicine should I give him? The doctor replies, give him this syrup twice a day, and make sure he drinks enough water. Expressions like fever and twice a day are important medical vocabulary. Another interesting role play happens in a hotel. Mr. Parker says, could I have a late checkout tomorrow? The receptionist replies, yes. You can check out at 2 o'clock instead of 12. Mr. Parker says, that is perfect. Thank you. Here you learn late checkout and instead of 12. Now imagine a friendly conversation in a workplace. Anna says to her colleague, do you usually take the bus to work? Her colleague replies, no, I usually cycle. It is faster and healthier. Expressions include do you usually and it is faster and healthier. Imagine a travel scenario at a train station. A woman named Rachel approaches the ticket counter and says, hello, I would like a single ticket to Cambridge, please. The clerk replies, certainly. Would you like a seat reservation as well? Rachel answers, yes, please. That would be helpful. This conversation shows polite ways to buy tickets and ask for extra services. Vocabulary includes single ticket, seat reservation, and helpful. Now picture a workplace situation. John is presenting a new idea to his manager, Mr. Allen. He says, I think we could improve our marketing strategy by targeting social media more actively. Mr. Allen replies, that is an interesting suggestion. Could you prepare a small plan for next week? John answers, of course, I will have it ready by Monday. This dialogue introduces phrases like improve our strategy, interesting suggestion, and prepare a plan. Another everyday situation is at a grocery store. Emma asks the shop assistant, do you have any fresh strawberries today? The assistant replies, yes, they were delivered this morning. How many would you like? Emma answers, I will take 1 kilogram, please. Useful phrases here are fresh strawberries delivered this morning and 1 kilogram. Now imagine a family planning scenario. David says to his wife, should we invite my parents over for dinner this weekend? His wife Laura replies, yes, that sounds lovely. I will prepare something special. David answers, great. I will make sure the table is ready. This teaches polite ways to suggest family plans and respond positively. Another scenario takes place at a library. A student named Olivia asks the librarian, could you help me find books about modern art? The librarian replies, certainly, they are on the 3rd floor, section D. Olivia says, thank you very much. That makes it easy to find. Expressions like, could you help me, and makes it easy to find are very useful in academic settings. Let us explore a hotel situation. Mr. Thompson goes to the reception and says, I have a reservation for 2 nights under the name Thompson. The receptionist replies, yes, Mr. Thompson. Your room is ready. And here is your key. Mr. Thompson says, thank you. Could you tell me where the breakfast area is? Vocabulary includes reservation, room is ready, and breakfast area. Now picture a restaurant conversation. Michael says to the waiter, I would like to order the grilled salmon, please. The waiter replies, would you like any side dishes with that? Michael answers, yes, I will have a salad and steamed vegetables. This teaches useful phrases like I would like to order and would you like any side dishes? Another workplace story involves a team meeting. Jessica says, we need to finish the project report by Friday. Let's divide the tasks among the team. One colleague replies, I can write the introduction and conclusion. Another adds, I will handle the research section. Jessica concludes, perfect. Once everything is ready, we will review together. Phrases such as divide the tasks and review together are important in professional contexts. Now imagine a train journey. A passenger asks another, excuse me, does this train stop at Oxford? The other passenger replies, yes, it stops there. You will get off at the 4th station. The first passenger answers, thank you. That is very helpful. This shows travel-related questions and polite responses. Another daily life scenario is at a pharmacy. Clara says, I need something for a headache. What do you recommend? The pharmacist replies, "You can take these tablets." They usually work within an hour. Clara answers, "Thank you. How often should I take them?" Vocabulary includes recommend, tablets, and how often should I take them. Now picture a family conversation. Sophia says to her husband, "Could you please water the plants today? I will be busy cleaning the house." Her husband replies, "Of course. I will do it this afternoon." Expressions like "could you please" and "I will do it this afternoon" are simple and polite. Another scenario takes place at an airport. David asks a staff member, "Where is the check-in counter for Flight 512? The staff replies, "It is at counter number 7. Boarding begins in 30 minutes. David says, "Thank you. I will go there now." Vocabulary includes check-in counter and boarding begins. Now imagine a school discussion. The teacher asks, "Can anyone explain the meaning of this word?" A student named Hannah replies, "It means a very large number of people or things." The teacher responds, "Exactly. Well done." Expressions like "can anyone explain" and "well done" are useful in classroom interactions. Another situation is at a supermarket. Alex asks, "Do you have any organic milk today?" The assistant replies, "Yes. We have it in the refrigerated section." Alex says, "Perfect. I will take 2 bottles." Vocabulary includes organic milk and refrigerated section. Now picture a phone conversation. Rachel calls her colleague and says, "Hi, I wanted to remind you about the meeting tomorrow at 10 o'clock. The colleague replies, "Thanks for reminding me. I will be there on time." Phrases such as "remind you" and "on time" are very practical in professional settings. Another story involves a repair service. James calls a technician and says, "My washing machine is not working properly. Could you come to check it?" The technician replies, "Yes, I can come tomorrow morning. Will that be convenient?" James answers, "Yes, that works perfectly." Vocabulary includes "not working properly" and "will that be convenient." Now imagine a coffee shop conversation. Sarah says, "Could I have a cappuccino with an extra shot of espresso, please?" The barista replies, "Certainly. Would you like a croissant with that?" Sarah answers, "Yes, please. That would be great." This teaches polite ordering phrases and adding extra requests. Another scenario is at a community meeting. Mr. Lewis says, "I propose that we organize a neighborhood cleanup this weekend." Another resident replies, "That is a great idea. I would like to volunteer." Mr. Lewis responds, "Wonderful, let's plan the details." Vocabulary includes propose, volunteer, and plan the details. Now picture a hospital visit. Laura says, "Doctor, my father has been coughing for 2 weeks. What should we do?" The doctor replies, "We will run some tests and then decide the treatment." Vocabulary includes coughing, run some tests, and decide the treatment. Another everyday story is about grocery shopping. Michael says, "Could you tell me where the fresh vegetables are?" The shop assistant replies, "They are in aisle 4, near the fruits." Michael answers, "Thank you. That is helpful." Useful expressions include "could you tell me" and "that is helpful." Now imagine a hotel scenario. Anna says, "I would like to reserve a double room for 3 nights, please." The receptionist replies, "Certainly. May I have your ID and credit card, please?" Anna answers, "Of course, here they are." Vocabulary includes reserve a double room and "may I have your ID?" Another situation takes place at a bus stop. Paul asks the driver, "Does this bus go to the city library?" The driver replies, "Yes, you should get off at the 5th stop." Paul says, "Thank you. I appreciate your help." Expressions include, "Does this bus go to?" and "I appreciate your help." Now picture a classroom role play. The teacher asks, "Who can answer this math problem on the board?" A student, Jacob, raises his hand and says, "The answer is 56. The teacher replies, "Correct. Excellent work." Vocabulary includes "who can answer" and "excellent work." Another workplace story involves planning a company event. Karen says, "We need to decide the venue for the annual meeting." Her colleague replies, "I suggest the downtown conference center. It has enough space for everyone." Karen responds, That sounds perfect. Let's book it. Expressions like decide the venue and sounds perfect are helpful in professional planning. Now imagine a travel scenario. Emma asks at a train station, "Excuse me, is there a luggage storage area here?" The attendant replies, "Yes, it is just to the left of the main entrance." Emma says, "Thank you. That is convenient." Vocabulary includes luggage storage area and convenient. Another scenario is at a bookstore. John asks, "Do you have the latest novel by this author?" The assistant replies, "Yes, it is on the new arrivals shelf." John says, "Great, I will take a copy." Expressions include latest novel and new arrivals shelf. Now picture a family conversation. Daniel says to his wife, "Could you help me prepare breakfast tomorrow morning?" She replies, "Yes, I will wake up early and help you." Vocabulary includes prepare breakfast and wake up early. Imagine a scenario at a train station. A passenger named Oliver asks a staff member, "Excuse me, is there a direct train to Birmingham?" The staff member replies, "Yes. The direct train leaves every hour from platform 5. Oliver responds, "Thank you. That is very helpful." This conversation teaches travel vocabulary like direct train, leaves every hour, and platform 5. Now picture a workplace situation. Rachel is speaking to her manager, Mr. Smith, and says, "I have analyzed the recent sales data. Would you like me to prepare a summary report?" Mr. Smith replies, "Yes, please. That will help us understand the trends better." Rachel answers, "I will have it ready by this afternoon." Vocabulary includes analyze the data, prepare a summary report, and trends. Another everyday scenario is at a supermarket. John says to the assistant, "Could you tell me if these bananas are ripe?" The assistant replies, "Yes, they are ready to eat today." John answers, "Great, I will take 6, please." Phrases like ripe, ready to eat, and I will take 6 are practical for shopping conversations. Now imagine a family discussion. Emma says to her husband, David, "Do you think we should redecorate the living room this month?" David replies, "Yes, it would make the space feel fresh. We can choose new curtains and cushions." Emma answers, "I agree. Let's start looking this weekend." Expressions include redecorate, make the space feel fresh, and let's start looking. Another role play takes place at a restaurant. A customer named Michael asks the waiter, "Do you have a vegetarian option for the main course?" The waiter replies, "Yes, we have a vegetable lasagna and a salad platter." Michael answers, "I will have the lasagna, please." Useful phrases include vegetarian option, main course, and I will have. Now picture a library situation. A student, Hannah, says, "Could you help me find books on environmental science?" The librarian replies, "Certainly, they are on the first floor, near the reference section." Hannah responds, "Thank you. That makes it easier to find the materials." Vocabulary includes environmental science, reference section, and makes it easier. Another travel-related story is at a bus station. Mark asks the driver, "Does this bus stop near Central Park?" The driver replies, "Yes. It stops right in front of the main entrance." Mark answers, "Perfect. That is exactly where I need to go." Expressions like near Central Park and main entrance are very common in travel. Now imagine a professional phone call. Claire says, "Hello, this is Claire Davis from Bright Tech. Could I speak to Mr. Allen regarding the meeting schedule?" The receptionist replies, "One moment, I will connect you." Claire responds, "Thank you for your help." Vocabulary includes speak to, meeting schedule, and connect you. Another scenario is at a hospital. Anna says, "Doctor, my son has a stomach ache. What medicine should I give him?" The doctor replies, "You can give him this syrup 3 times a day after meals." Anna answers, "Thank you. I will follow your instructions." Phrases like stomach ache, 3 times a day, and follow your instructions are very useful in medical conversations. Now picture a family morning routine. David asks his wife Laura, "Could you prepare some tea while I make breakfast?" Laura replies, "Of course, I will have it ready in 10 minutes." Expressions include prepare some tea and have it ready in 10 minutes. Another role play happens at a clothing store. A customer named Sarah asks, "Do you have this jacket in a larger size?" The assistant replies, "Yes, we have it in medium and large. Would you like to try it on?" Sarah answers, "Yes, please. I will try the large size." Vocabulary includes larger size, medium and large, and try it on. Now imagine a conversation at a hotel reception. Mr. Parker says, "I have a reservation under the name Parker for 3 nights. The receptionist replies, "Yes, Mr. Parker. Your room is ready, and breakfast is included." Mr. Parker answers, "Thank you. Could you tell me the Wi-Fi password?" Phrases include reservation, room is ready, and Wi-Fi password. Another workplace situation involves teamwork. Laura says, "We need to complete the client proposal by tomorrow. Let's assign responsibilities." A colleague replies, "I can write the introduction, and I can handle the financial section." Laura responds, "Excellent. Once completed, we will review it together." Vocabulary includes client proposal, assign responsibilities, and review together. Now picture a travel scenario at the airport. Michael asks a staff member, "Excuse me, where is the boarding gate for Flight 224? The staff member replies, "It is at Gate 12, and boarding starts in 15 minutes. Michael answers, "Thank you. I will go there now." Useful expressions include boarding gate, boarding starts, and excuse me. Another scenario is at a park. Julia says to her friend, "It is such a sunny day. Shall we go for a walk along the river?" Her friend replies, "Yes, that sounds lovely. Let's take a bottle of water with us." Vocabulary includes sunny day, go for a walk, and take a bottle of water. Now imagine a conversation at a restaurant. Peter asks the waiter, "Could I have the grilled chicken with a side of vegetables, please?" The waiter replies, "Certainly. Would you like any sauce with it?" Peter answers, "Yes, some barbecue sauce, please." Useful phrases include grilled chicken, side of vegetables, and would you like any sauce? Another everyday scenario is at a supermarket. Anna asks, "Do you have fresh bread today?" The assistant replies, "Yes, it was baked this morning. How many loaves would you like?" Anna answers, 2 loaves, please." Vocabulary includes fresh bread, baked this morning, and loaves. Now picture a professional meeting. David says, "We need to discuss the project timeline. Can everyone share their progress?" A colleague replies, "I have completed the research part, and the draft will be ready soon." David responds, "Great. Let's compile everything for review." Phrases include project timeline, share progress, and compile everything. Another travel-related story is at a train ticket counter. Sophie says, "I would like a return ticket to Bristol, please." The clerk replies, "Certainly. Do you want to travel in the morning or afternoon?" Sophie answers, "Morning, please. That works best for me." Vocabulary includes return ticket, morning or afternoon, and works best for me. Now imagine a school scenario. The teacher asks, "Who can answer this question about world geography?" A student, Michael, replies, "The capital of Spain is Madrid." The teacher responds, "Correct? Well done." Useful expressions include who can answer and well done. Another situation is at a bank. Laura says, "I would like to open a new savings account." The bank clerk replies, "Certainly. May I have your ID and address proof?" Laura answers, "Here they are. Thank you." Vocabulary includes open a new account, ID and address proof, and certainly, now picture a hotel breakfast buffet. Mr. Thompson asks the staff, "Could you tell me where the pastries are?" The staff replies, "They are near the juice counter on the left." Mr. Thompson answers, "Thank you, that is very convenient." Useful phrases include breakfast buffet, near the juice counter, and very convenient. Another scenario happens at a doctor's clinic. Emily says, "Doctor, my father feels dizzy when he stands up. What should we do?" The doctor replies, "We will do some tests and monitor his blood pressure." Emily answers, "Thank you. I will follow your advice." Vocabulary includes feels dizzy, monitor, and follow your advice. Now imagine a conversation at a coffee shop. Sarah says, "Could I have a latte with almond milk, please?" The barista replies, "Certainly. Would you like any sugar with it?" Sarah answers, "Yes, 1 spoon, please." Useful phrases include latte with almond milk and would you like any sugar? Another everyday story is about a family outing. Daniel says to his wife, "Shall we take the children to the zoo this weekend?" His wife replies, "Yes, that sounds fun. We can pack some snacks and drinks for them." Vocabulary includes take the children, that sounds fun, and pack some snacks. Now picture a conversation at a bookstore. John asks, "Do you have this novel in hardcover?" The assistant replies, "Yes, we have it on the top shelf." John answers, "Thank you, I will take it." Useful phrases include hardcover and top shelf. Imagine a train station scene. A traveler named Lucas asks a staff member, "Excuse me, which platform is the train to Manchester departing from?" The staff member replies, "It leaves from platform 8 and will depart in 10 minutes. Lucas responds, "Thank you. That is very clear." Vocabulary includes platform, departing, and very clear. Now picture a workplace meeting. Anna speaks to her team. "We need to organize a presentation for the client next week. Who can prepare the slides?" Her colleague Tom replies, "I can prepare the first part, and I will coordinate with Jane for the graphs." Anna answers, "Excellent. Once completed, we will review everything together." Useful phrases include organize a presentation, coordinate with and review everything together. Another scenario is at a supermarket. Emma asks an assistant, "Do you have fresh strawberries today?" The assistant replies, "Yes, they just arrived this morning. How many would you like?" Emma answers, "I will take 2 boxes, please." Vocabulary includes fresh strawberries, just arrived, and 2 boxes. Now imagine a family conversation. David says to his wife, Laura, "Do you think we should repaint the kitchen walls?" Laura replies, "Yes, it would brighten up the space. We can choose a light color." David answers, "I agree. Let's buy the paint this weekend." Expressions include repaint, brighten up the space, and choose a light color. Another role play happens at a coffee shop. Michael says to the barista, "Could I have a cappuccino with a little cinnamon, please?" The barista replies, "Certainly. Would you like a pastry with that?" Michael answers, "Yes, a croissant would be perfect." Useful phrases include a little cinnamon, would you like a pastry, and would be perfect. Now picture a library situation. A student named Hannah says, "Could you help me locate books on renewable energy?" The librarian replies, "Of course. They are on the 2nd floor in the science section." Hannah answers, "Thank you. That makes it much easier to find." Vocabulary includes renewable energy, science section, and much easier to find. Another travel scenario takes place at a bus station. Mark asks the driver, "Does this bus go to the central train station?" The driver replies, "Yes. It stops there every 30 minutes. Mark answers, "Great. That is very convenient." Expressions include central train station, stops every 30 minutes, and very convenient. Now imagine a phone conversation at work. Claire says, "Hello, this is Claire Evans from Bright Solutions. Could I speak to Mr. Richards about the project update?" The receptionist replies, "1 moment, I will connect you." Claire responds, "Thank you very much for your help." Useful phrases include speak to, project update, and connect you. Another scenario is at a hospital. Emily says, "Doctor, my mother has been feeling dizzy for 3 days. What should we do?" The doctor replies, "We will run a few tests and monitor her blood pressure." Emily answers, "Thank you. I will follow your instructions carefully." Vocabulary includes feeling dizzy, run a few tests, and follow your instructions. Now picture a morning routine at home. David says to his wife, Laura, "Could you prepare some coffee while I set the table for breakfast?" Laura replies, "Of course, I will have it ready in 10 minutes. Expressions include prepare some coffee and set the table for breakfast. Another role play happens at a clothing store. Sarah asks, Do you have this sweater in a larger size? The assistant replies, yes, we have it in medium and large. Would you like to try it on? Sarah answers, yes, I will try the large size, please. Useful phrases include larger size, medium, and large, and try it on. Now imagine a hotel reception conversation. Mr. Parker says, I have a reservation under the name Parker for 4 nights. The receptionist replies, yes, Mr. Parker. Your room is ready, and breakfast is included. Mr. Parker answers, thank you. Could you also tell me the gym hours? Vocabulary includes reservation, room is ready, and gym hours. Another workplace situation involves teamwork. Laura says, we need to finalize the report by tomorrow. Let's assign each section to someone. A colleague replies, I will write the introduction and conclusion. Laura answers, perfect. Once everyone finishes, we will review it together. Expressions include finalize the report, assign each section, and review it together. Now picture a travel scenario at the airport. Michael asks a staff member, where is the boarding gate for Flight 312? The staff replies, it is gate 15 and boarding will begin in 20 minutes. Michael responds, thank you, I will go there now. Vocabulary includes boarding gate. Boarding will begin, and thank you. Another scenario is at a park. Julia says to her friend, the weather is lovely today. Shall we go for a walk by the lake? Her friend replies, yes, that sounds relaxing. We should take a water bottle. Expressions include lovely weather, go for a walk, and take a water bottle. Now, imagine a restaurant conversation. Peter says, could I have the grilled fish with steamed vegetables, please? The waiter replies, certainly. Would you like any sauce with it? Peter answers, yes, some lemon sauce, please. Useful phrases include grilled fish, steamed vegetables, and would you like any sauce? Another everyday scenario is at a supermarket. Anna asks, do you have fresh eggs today? The assistant replies, yes, they were delivered this morning. How many would you like? Anna answers, I will take 12, please. Vocabulary includes fresh eggs, delivered this morning, and 12. Now picture a professional meeting. David says, we should discuss the marketing plan for next quarter. Can everyone share their progress? A colleague replies, I have completed the research section, and the slides will be ready tomorrow. David answers, excellent. We will compile everything for review. Useful expressions include marketing plan, share their progress, and compile everything for review. Another travel-related story is at a train station. Sophie says, I would like a return ticket to Leeds, please. The clerk replies, certainly. Do you prefer a morning or afternoon train? Sophie answers, morning, please. That suits me best. Vocabulary includes return ticket, morning or afternoon, and suits me best. Now imagine a classroom scenario. The teacher asks, who can answer this question about history? A student, Michael, replies, the capital of France is Paris. The teacher responds, correct, well done. Useful phrases include, who can answer and well done. Another scenario takes place at a bank. Laura says, I would like to apply for a new credit card. The clerk replies, certainly. May I see your ID and proof of address? Laura answers, here they are. Thank you. Vocabulary includes apply for a credit card, ID, and proof of address, and certainly. Now picture a hotel breakfast. Mr. Thompson asks, where are the fruits located? The staff replies, they are near the juice station on the right. Mr. Thompson answers, thank you, that is convenient. Useful phrases include breakfast, juice station, and convenient. Another scenario is at a doctor's clinic. Emily says, Doctor, my son has a fever and cough. What medicine should I give him? The doctor replies, you can give him this syrup 3 times a day after meals. Emily answers, thank you, I will follow your instructions. Vocabulary includes fever and cough, 3 times a day, and follow your instructions. Now imagine a coffee shop scene. Sarah says, could I have a latte with skimmed milk, please? The barista replies, Certainly. Would you like any sugar with it? Sarah answers, yes, 1 spoon, please. Useful phrases include latte with skimmed milk and would you like any sugar? Another everyday story involves a family outing. Daniel says to his wife, shall we take the children to the park this weekend? His wife replies, yes, that sounds fun. We can pack some sandwiches and drinks for them. Vocabulary includes take the children, that sounds fun, and pack some sandwiches. Now picture a bookstore conversation. John asks, do you have this book in paperback? The assistant replies, yes, it is on the top shelf near the entrance. John answers, thank you, I will take a copy. Useful phrases include paperback and top shelf near the entrance. Imagine a train station scenario. A traveler named Ethan asks a staff member, excuse me, which platform does the train to Liverpool leave from? The staff member replies, it departs from platform 6 and leaves in 20 minutes. Ethan answers, thank you. That is very helpful. Vocabulary includes platform, departs, and very helpful. Now picture a workplace situation. Sophia says to her manager, Mr. Roberts, I have drafted the proposal for the new project. Would you like me to send it to the team for feedback? Mr. Roberts replies, yes, that would be excellent. We can review it in tomorrow's meeting. Sophia answers, I will send it right away. Useful phrases include drafted the proposal, send it for feedback, and review it in the meeting. Another everyday scenario is at a grocery store. Michael asks the assistant, do you have fresh blueberries today? The assistant replies, yes, they arrived this morning. How many boxes would you like? Michael answers, I will take 3, please. Vocabulary includes fresh blueberries, arrived this morning, and 3 boxes. Now imagine a family discussion. Olivia says to her husband, Daniel, do you think we should rearrange the furniture in the living room? Daniel replies, yes, it might make the space feel bigger. We can move the sofa near the window. Olivia answers, that sounds good. Let's do it tomorrow. Expressions include rearrange the furniture, make the space feel bigger, and move the sofa. Another role play happens at a restaurant. A customer named Laura asks the waiter, do you have gluten-free options for the main course? The waiter replies, yes, we have a quinoa salad and grilled vegetables. Laura answers, I will have the quinoa salad, please. Useful phrases include gluten-free options, main course, and I will have. Now picture a library situation. A student, Jacob, says, could you help me find books on artificial intelligence? The librarian replies, of course, they are on the 2nd floor in the technology section. Jacob responds, thank you, that is very helpful. Vocabulary includes artificial intelligence, technology section, and very helpful. Another travel scenario is at a bus stop. Anna asks the driver, does this bus go to the city museum? The driver replies, yes, it stops there every 20 minutes. Anna answers, perfect. That works well for me. Expressions include city museum, stops every 20 minutes, and works well for me. Now imagine a professional phone call. Claire says, hello, this is Claire Thompson from Tech Innovations. Could I speak to Mr. Lewis about the software update? The receptionist replies, 1 moment, I will connect you. Claire responds, thank you very much for your help. Useful phrases include speak to, software update, and connect you. Another scenario is at a hospital. Emily says, doctor, my father has a persistent cough. What treatment would you recommend? The doctor replies, we will perform a few tests and provide medication accordingly. Emily answers, thank you, I will follow your advice carefully. Vocabulary includes persistent cough, perform tests, and follow your advice. Now picture a morning routine at home. David says to his wife, Laura, could you make some orange juice while I prepare breakfast? Laura replies, of course, I will have it ready in 15 minutes. Expressions include make some orange juice and prepare breakfast. Another role play happens at a clothing store. A customer named Sophia asks, do you have this dress in a smaller size? The assistant replies, yes, we have it in sizes S and M. Would you like to try them? Sophia answers, yes, I will try the S size, please. Useful phrases include smaller size, sizes S and M, and try them. Now imagine a hotel reception conversation. Mr. Thompson says, I have a booking under the name Thompson for 2 nights. The receptionist replies, yes, Mr. Thompson, your room is ready, and Wi-Fi is available. Mr. Thompson answers, thank you. Could you also tell me the breakfast hours? Vocabulary includes booking, room is ready, and breakfast hours. Another workplace situation involves a team project. Laura says, we need to finish the research report by Friday. Let's assign specific tasks. A colleague replies, I will handle the data analysis, and I will prepare the graphs. Laura answers, excellent, once completed. We will review everything together. Expressions include research report, assign specific tasks, and review everything together. Now picture a travel scenario at the airport. Michael asks a staff member, excuse me, where is the boarding gate for Flight 416? The staff replies, it is gate 10, and boarding starts in 30 minutes. Michael responds, thank you, I will go there now. Vocabulary includes boarding gate, boarding starts, and excuse me. Another scenario is at a park. Julia says to her friend, the weather is fantastic today. Should we take a walk along the river? Her friend replies, yes, that sounds enjoyable. We could also take some sandwiches with us. Expressions include fantastic weather, take a walk, and take some sandwiches. Now imagine a restaurant conversation. Peter says, could I have the grilled salmon with steamed vegetables, please? The waiter replies, certainly. Would you like any sauce on the side? Peter answers, yes, some lemon sauce, please. Useful phrases include grilled salmon, steamed vegetables, and would you like any sauce? Another everyday scenario is at a supermarket. Emma asks, do you have fresh yogurt today? The assistant replies, yes, it was delivered this morning. How many containers would you like? Emma answers, I will take 4, please. Vocabulary includes fresh yogurt delivered this morning and 4 containers. Now picture a professional meeting. David says, we need to discuss the advertising campaign for next month. Can everyone share their updates? A colleague replies, I have completed the research part, and the draft slides are ready. David answers, excellent. We will compile everything for review. Useful phrases include advertising campaign, share updates, and compile everything. Another travel-related story is at a train station. Sophie says, I would like a return ticket to Newcastle, please. The clerk replies, certainly. Do you prefer the morning or evening train? Sophie answers, evening, please. That is more convenient for me. Vocabulary includes return ticket, morning or evening, and more convenient. Now imagine a classroom scenario. The teacher asks, who can answer this question about world history? A student, Jacob, replies, the capital of Italy is Rome. The teacher responds, correct? Excellent job. Useful phrases include who can answer an excellent job. Another scenario takes place at a bank. Laura says, I would like to open a checking account. The bank clerk replies, certainly, may I see your identification and address proof? Laura answers, here they are. Thank you. Vocabulary includes checking account, identification, and certainly. Now picture a hotel breakfast buffet. Mr. Parker asks the staff, could you tell me where the cereals are? The staff replies, they are near the fruit section on the left. Mr. Parker answers, thank you, that is convenient. Useful phrases include breakfast buffet, fruit section, and convenient. Another scenario is at a doctor's clinic. Emily says, Doctor, my daughter has a sore throat and mild fever. What should I do? The doctor replies, you can give her this syrup twice a day and monitor her temperature. Emily answers, thank you, I will follow your instructions carefully. Vocabulary includes sore throat, monitor temperature, and follow instructions. Now imagine a coffee shop scene. Sarah says, could I have a flat white with oat milk, please? The barista replies, certainly. Would you like it hot or iced? Sarah answers, hot, please. Useful phrases include flat white, oat milk, and hot or iced. Another everyday story involves a family outing. Daniel says to his wife, "Shall we take the children to the science museum this weekend?" His wife replies, "Yes, that would be enjoyable. We can pack some snacks and drinks for them." Vocabulary includes science museum, enjoyable, and pack some snacks. Now picture a bookstore conversation. John asks, "Do you have this author's latest novel in hardcover?" The assistant replies, "Yes, it is on the top shelf near the entrance." John answers, "Thank you, I will take a copy." Useful phrases include latest novel, hardcover, and top shelf near the entrance. Imagine a train station scene. A traveler named Oliver asks a staff member, "Excuse me, can you tell me which platform the train to Sheffield departs from?" The staff member replies, "It leaves from platform 9 and will depart in 15 minutes. Oliver responds, "Thank you. That is very clear." Vocabulary includes platform, departs, and very clear. Now picture a workplace discussion. Sophia says to her manager, Mr. Williams, "I have prepared a draft of the quarterly report. Should I share it with the team for comments?" Mr. Williams replies, "Yes, that will be useful. We can discuss it in tomorrow's meeting." Sophia answers, "I will send it immediately." Useful phrases include prepared a draft, share for comments, and discuss in the meeting. Another everyday scenario is at a supermarket. Michael asks the assistant, "Do you have fresh peaches today?" The assistant replies, "Yes, they were delivered this morning. How many would you like?" Michael answers, "I will take 4, please." Vocabulary includes fresh peaches, delivered this morning, and 4. Now imagine a family discussion. Emma says to her husband, Daniel, "Do you think we should change the curtains in the living room?" Daniel replies, "Yes, it might brighten up the space. We could choose a light color." Emma answers, "That sounds perfect. Let's go shopping this weekend." Expressions include change the curtains, brighten up the space, and choose a light color. Another role play happens at a restaurant. A customer named Laura asks the waiter, "Do you have low-salt options for the main course?" The waiter replies, "Yes, we have grilled vegetables and quinoa salad." Laura answers, "I will have the quinoa salad, thank you." Useful phrases include low-salt options, main course, and I will have. Now picture a library situation. A student, Jacob, says, "Could you help me find books on climate change?" The librarian replies, "Of course. They are on the 3rd floor in the environment section." Jacob responds, "Thank you. That makes it easier to find the books." Vocabulary includes climate change, environment section, and makes it easier. Another travel scenario is at a bus stop. Anna asks the driver, "Does this bus go to the city library?" The driver replies, "Yes. It stops there every 15 minutes. Anna answers, "Great. That works perfectly for me." Expressions include city library, stops every 15 minutes, and works perfectly. Now imagine a professional phone call. Claire says, "Hello, this is Claire Adams from Innovative Tech. May I speak to Mr. Taylor about the software installation?" The receptionist replies, "One moment, I will connect you." Claire responds, "Thank you very much for your assistance." Useful phrases include speak to, software installation, and connect you. Another scenario is at a hospital. Emily says, "Doctor, my father has been feeling weak and tired for several days. What tests should we do?" The doctor replies, "We will conduct some blood tests and monitor his health closely." Emily answers, "Thank you. I will follow your advice carefully." Vocabulary includes feeling weak, conduct blood tests, and follow your advice. Now picture a morning routine at home. David says to his wife, Laura, "Could you prepare some tea while I make breakfast?" Laura replies, "Of course, I will have it ready in 10 minutes. Expressions include prepare some tea and make breakfast. Another role play happens at a clothing store. A customer named Sophia asks, "Do you have this jacket in a smaller size?" The assistant replies, "Yes, we have it in sizes S and M. Would you like to try them?" Sophia answers, yes, I will try the S size. Please. Useful phrases include smaller size, sizes S and M, and try them. Now imagine a hotel reception conversation. Mr. Thompson says, I have a booking under the name Thompson for 3 nights. The receptionist replies, yes, Mr. Thompson, your room is ready, and breakfast is included. Mr. Thompson answers, thank you. Could you also tell me about the gym and pool hours? Vocabulary includes booking, room is ready, and gym and pool hours. Another workplace scenario involves a team project. Laura says, we need to finish the client report by Thursday. Let's divide the tasks. A colleague replies, I will handle the data analysis and create the charts. Laura answers, excellent. Once everyone completes their part, we will review it together. Expressions include client report, divide the tasks, and review it together. Now picture a travel scenario at the airport. Michael asks a staff member, excuse me, where is the boarding gate for flight 522? The staff replies, it is gate 12 and boarding begins in 25 minutes. Michael responds, thank you, I will go there now. Vocabulary includes boarding gate, boarding begins, and excuse me. Another scenario is at a park. Julia says to her friend, the weather is beautiful today. Shall we go for a walk along the lake? Her friend replies, yes, that sounds relaxing. We could also bring some sandwiches. Expressions include beautiful weather, go for a walk, and bring some sandwiches. Now imagine a restaurant conversation. Peter says, could I have the grilled chicken with steamed broccoli, please? The waiter replies, certainly. Would you like any sauce on the side? Peter answers, yes, some honey mustard sauce, please. Useful phrases include grilled chicken, steamed broccoli, and would you like any sauce? Another everyday scenario is at a supermarket. Emma asks, do you have fresh milk today? The assistant replies, yes, it was delivered this morning. How many bottles would you like? Emma answers, I will take 2, please. Vocabulary includes fresh milk, delivered this morning, and 2 bottles. Now picture a professional meeting. David says, we need to discuss the marketing strategy for the next quarter. Can everyone share their progress? A colleague replies, I have finished the research section, and the presentation slides are almost ready. David answers, excellent. We will compile everything for the final review. Useful phrases include marketing strategy, share progress, and compile everything. Another travel-related story is at a train station. Sophie says, I would like a return ticket to Nottingham, please. The clerk replies, certainly. Would you like the morning or evening train? Sophie answers, evening, please. That is more convenient for me. Vocabulary includes return ticket, morning or evening, and more convenient. Now imagine a classroom scenario. The teacher asks, who can answer this geography question? A student, Jacob, replies, the capital of Germany is Berlin. The teacher responds, correct. Very well done. Useful phrases include who can answer and very well done. Another scenario takes place at a bank. Laura says, I would like to open a checking account. The clerk replies, certainly. May I see your identification and proof of residence? Laura answers, here they are. Thank you. Vocabulary includes checking account, identification, and proof of residence. Now picture a hotel breakfast buffet. Mr. Parker asks the staff, could you show me where the cereals are? The staff replies, they are near the fruit section on the right. Mr. Parker answers, thank you, that is very convenient. Useful phrases include breakfast buffet, fruit section, and very convenient. Now picture a hotel breakfast buffet. Mr. Parker asks the staff, could you show me where the cereals are? The staff replies, they are near the fruit section on the right. Mr. Parker answers, thank you, that is very convenient. Useful phrases include breakfast buffet, fruit section, and very convenient. Another scenario is at a doctor's clinic. Emily says, Doctor, my son has a runny nose and mild fever. What should I do? The doctor replies, you can give him this syrup twice daily and keep him hydrated. Emily answers, Thank you. I will follow your instructions carefully. Vocabulary includes runny nose. Keep him hydrated and follow instructions. Now imagine a coffee shop scene. Sarah says, "Could I have a cappuccino with soy milk, please?" The barista replies, "Certainly. Would you like it hot or iced?" Sarah answers, "Hot, please." Useful phrases include cappuccino, soy milk, and hot or iced. Another everyday story involves a family outing. Daniel says to his wife, "Shall we take the children to the art museum this weekend?" His wife replies, "Yes, that would be enjoyable. We can pack some snacks and drinks for them." Vocabulary includes art museum, enjoyable, and pack some snacks. Now picture a bookstore conversation. John asks, "Do you have this author's